The IELTS speaking test is only 11 to 14 minutes, but walking in without knowing what to expect can be really stressful. For a lot of people, it's actually the most difficult part of the exam. And myself, I actually got 9 in listening and 8 in reading, but only 7 in speaking. Make sure to watch this video until the end because you will know the exact structure of all 3 parts, so you walk into the exam room with confidence. Let's start with part 1, the introduction and interview. This whole section is all about you and how you handle familiar, everyday topics. It lasts for about 4 to 5 minutes. It all starts when you sit down. The examiner will introduce themselves, ask your name, and check your ID. Make sure you have your ID with yourself. After that, the real questions start. The examiner will ask you about very common topics from your life. Things like your work or studies, your hometown, your family, your hobbies. These aren't tricky questions, they are all about you. You will probably be asked around 12 questions on 2 or 3 different topics. Make sure your answers are on point and not too short. Aim for about 20 seconds per question. If the examiner asks you, do you like sports? And you just say yes, you aren't giving them anything to assess. The key is to extend your answers naturally. A rule of thumb is to aim for at least 2 or 3 sentences. Here's the simple structure. Give a direct answer, then add a little extra detail, like a reason or an example. For instance, if you're asked, do you enjoy cooking? Instead of just no, you could have said, to be honest, I'm not much of a cook. I find it time consuming, so I prefer making something quick and simple. That answer is direct. It gives some detail and it uses some great vocabulary. Remember that part 1 is like a real life conversation. Don't try to force complex vocabulary or use memorized answers. Just speak cleanly and honestly about your own life. Now you got to part 2. This is the most difficult part in IELTS speaking because you literally have to talk for 2 minutes straight. This part takes about 3 minutes in total. Here's how it works. The examiner hands you a card with topic on it. This is your cue card. It'll have the main topic and 3 or 4 bullet points you should cover. You then have 1 minute to prepare your talk and make some notes. After the time's up, it's now your turn to talk for 2 minutes. When the time's up, the examiner will interrupt you and go on to the part 3. The point of part 2 is to test your ability to speak at length, organize your thoughts, and keep your flowing ideas coherently. Honestly, success here is how you use that 1 minute prep time. Don't try to write full sentences. You'll run out of time. Instead, focus on keywords and short phrases. A really effective strategy is to use bullet points to make up your notes. Write a few keywords to each bullet point. For example, if the topic is describe a memorable trip you took, your notes for bullet points could be Paris, family, Eiffel Tower, museums, and amazing food. Start your 2-minute response with something like, I would like to talk about the time I've been to Paris. Then just go through your notes, hitting each point. Use simple linking words like first, second, another thing is, and finally. This makes you sound fluent and organized. If you have 1 minute and you have answered all the keywords and you have nothing to talk about, you should try adding your personal opinion at the end. For example, do you recommend it or not? The main thing is to show you can speak continuously and fluently. After your long speech, the examiner will slowly transition to part 3. This part is roughly 5 minutes as well and is directly linked with the topic you talked about in part 2. The purpose here is to see if you can talk about topics in complex and analytical way. The questions you get are broader and more difficult. If your part 2 topic was about the teacher you admired, part 3 topic will be about education in your country, the technology used in education, or good qualities of a teacher. In this section, you are expected to give more developed and well-supported answers. A simple 2-sentence answer isn't the greatest fit. A great way to structure response in part 3 is a PEE method that I personally use. Point, explain, example. First, state your main point clearly. Second, explain why you believe that. And third, support it with a specific example. For example, if the question is, how will technology change education in future? You would want to go beyond a simple statement. You could give your opinion, explain the reason for it, and give a concrete example of, for example, AI tutors. And speaking of AI, I bet that you hate having an AI speaking examiner. And that's when I step in. I helped over 50 people who had speaking mock tests with me, and the main thing they were satisfied about is that they know their predicted score. There was this person that had their exam in 3 days and they absolutely did not know their speaking score. And they actually booked a speaking mock test with me on my website, IELTS.com. And after they had it, they received a 7. And after 5 days, it turns out that they got a 7 in speaking. And now I have a question for you. What is your biggest struggle in IELTS speaking? Is it part 1, part 2, or part 3, or any other aspect? If this guide was helpful, subscribe for more IELTS tips and give it a like to this video. On this channel, I talk about how I reached band 8 at 14. See you on the next video and good luck with your preparation.